What?
Have they put a light there?
It is
No.
come through.
No.
Yeah, it has come through. It is deemed feasible to put a light there, and then now, whatever reason, they've got
Where?
Old
at
Railroad and
Rice
50.
Market
Okay.
Yeah.
right there. So it is going in. It's probably not going. I mean, we
2 years
come back to time then.
Is that a state highway?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that-
50.
Yeah, but it has been approved. So probably 10 more studies, and they got to figure out.
I
what
didn't know if they
green
were
field
gonna
is going
make it like outside of Hebron, which I used to do,
Yeah.
because one of my kids went to Mardella, is take the right-hand turn,
Yeah.
and then,
Go
which
on.
made sense, because at least you could see
Yeah.
what the angle that that intersection is, makes it really difficult to,
Yeah.
and then people want to shoot across from you, and you can't see
It's a
around
tricky
them.
intersection, especially if you're coming, go 50 west and you want to cut. That's good. You gotta come across.
Right.
I go
See,
up to.
That's why I was on the roof.
Well,
that little thing right up there doing movie.
So-
Yeah.
It's a hot mess.
so is it that they need to do more studies, or we haven't hit the right person? Because
No, it's already been approved. It's now. I tell you, if we asked the same guy that
The light
we
at
were
Old
talking
Railroad?
about, Mr. Merrick's got all that.
no,
information.
well, no, if that's state. It's state. Maybe we can talk to Charles Otto. He's pretty good. I mean, get with one of our. I mean, I've got that other delegate. We'll talk to Delegate Beach. I mean, if it's a state situation, we need to go ahead, because here's the thing: over there off of Hobbs Road, that's probably been studied for a long time. You still having accidents because somebody hasn't talked to the right person yet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Already, this light is approved.
Okay.
Now the question, and the last study was done in the spring, this past spring.
Okay.
Jeff said that it had been approved. The question is when is the funding coming through to put the light in? And that's what we don't have the answer to.
So we can put $25 million into the Salisbury University from the governor, but we can take care of it.
Well, and look at the civic center just threw me. I had no idea all that they were planning on doing with
9.8
that.
million.
But that's not looking at state, though, is it?
I'm sure it's some kind of federal.
Yeah.
It's
$4.5
federal.
million is us.
There was
For the
some,
roof,
the
right?
county had to come up with a certain amount for the state and
Gotcha.
the rest, and they were worried because a couple of years gone by, it was like 7 million, now it's 9 million, but they were able to,
So can they sell alcohol yet?
that I don't know, but the roof.
Yeah, they got that.
The roof won't leak, and there'll be a nice box office and
I'm okay with that.
facade and the parking, when events get out and people are trying to leave and people
And
walking
then you
it.
can
it's
go,
all that.
you can go to downtown Salisbury.
Mm.
My question, find a place to park so that you can.
Yeah.
Where? Because they're putting in a performing arts center. Where are you gonna park?
Well, it's gonna be
Where
the
are you gonna
library. It's gonna be the library.
Yeah.
I need my hammer.
That whole block there where the library is gonna be a performing arts
Your crab
center.
cracker.
Where are you
Sure.
gonna park?
Well, you still have the
You got
parking.
birthday coming up.
They cut that in half. More than half.
Well, they'll have to take their little puddle jumpers out of there or something.
There's no
I'm
parking.
putting in a budget. for it.
And Gillis wants to put
Who's the second, who's the
Another-
treasurer? Who's- Check with the
Brad
budget.
Gillis, I think he wants to put another apartment building.
You gotta do a logo first, Joe.
You gotta do a logo.
Yeah, logo first, and it's just,
Okay.
What are we
Then you're
logoing?
Then we're good.
Westside, Community Task Force.
Oh,
You
right.
come up with a logo, then you can just go from there.
Then
It's about this Metro Core Park
Mm-hmm.
they want to build over on 11 to Shield Road and Rockawalken. That big project, I think it's a $20 million project.
Is that the Shadow Hills thing and all that?
No, that's
Oh,
that's Valley Mill.
okay.
That's it.
Metro.
It's
It's gonna be
the
corner
bad
to the
spot.
church.
Yeah, part or you talking about Conley Mill or this one? Is that one?
The
No,
Metro,
Okay.
that's a bad spot. People trying to get in and out
11
of
to Shield.
there.
That's right.
11
Well,
to
they
Shield.
did a town hall in Rock Walk a couple years ago, and they want to do another one.
So, couple things is, and this is kind of clear the air with you, Pat, and the Westside Center. They want to do a big town hall here, and it's probably like one that they would want the auditorium. And I think it would do a thing where they looking at maybe having Steve Miller present some of that information, but I think James Wynn is the one that wants to hold it. And he wants to get the public's opinion on what down here, what that what do they call it, Metro Core Park, and that's over by you, how the citizens would feel about it and what they would want on it. There's a lot of, on the people that are coming to me with it, it's almost like with no more parks. We've had enough parks. We got way too many parks at this point.
I thought that had already been kind of mixed.
No,
They're talking about the CIP right now.
So it's on the, it's on the CIP right now, which means that it's in the budget. And it means that they're gonna progress. And I might let Dave speak to this a little bit better. He's got a better handle on some of this than I do. But it is an income producing property at the moment. And it was bought under Maryland's, what's it called? Open Space Program. And they have so many years.
20.
20. And I don't know where they're at, but I'd heard that now we're at a push where we gotta put a road through there, where we gotta pay it back. The county's gotta pay it back if they don't do something with it.
Which is what they did with Pirates Cove.
Correct.
It's not finished.
Correct. So, the citizens that are coming to me are saying, we need to finish what we have and fix what we have.
Yep.
And then take into consideration this park in itself. I know that Julie's for this park, and I don't have any problem with parks. I really don't. But I'm looking at it from a different angle, different perspective. And I want to know from further, if we build any more parks, I want to know your end budget 30 years out, say 5, 10, 20, 30 years out on what you're going to do with your employees and your maintenance for that park. So just because you have a 20 million, and I don't know if it's 20 million, don't quote me on that number. If you have a money set aside to build a park and it's going to be a gift of $20 million, that is taxpayers' money. Okay, great, we can build a park, but who's going to take care of the resources thereafter, and what is the budget to maintain that from that point on? In this town hall, I have been asked, and I've been asking James Wynn, that this commission or this little organization somehow get out flyers that this is gonna, there would be a meeting to see what the community wanted. So they want us to advertise and say, we want all of your opinions. We want it on a public forum.
Well, we know of two big projects that have never, the Cove,
Right.
of course, that's
Right.
a lot of work. And then Pirates Cove, which they managed to put a gazebo up, but
No trash
there's-
cans.
there's
Got no
another
trash
phase
cans.
going in
No
this
trash.
year.
They got like
No,
3 trash
I was
cans.
just there today, as a matter of fact.
what the heck did you do today?
I had grandkids today.
Anyway,
I got stuff.
what we're being asked
Family
is for this new one, and just focus on that for the moment. This new one, we're being asked to help facilitate the community to get their opinion on, we want as many people talking about it as we can get. Now, I don't personally care if you want soccer fields and a new park, that's fine, I'm okay with that. If you don't, I will just say my thoughts on it are, let's finish what we have.
Yep.
And let's start a
So is
budget.
this gonna be a sports complex or?
I have no
or
idea.
There's a lot of options.
A lot of options.
I had heard initially that was part of their thought.
Yeah.
But, you know, they were right away, confronted with the problem accessing
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
getting the heck out of there. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's a terrible
It's gonna-
spot.
it's
to
a
have
terrible
multiplex
Yeah.
Soccer fields.
Now,
Between Levin to Shield coming this way, 50 and Rock Walking, you're boxed in. You know, there's no shoulders on those roads.
Yeah, they're gonna have to.
Fairly highly trafficked.
now I will say Project Open Space says a whole different thing to me. And I'm a conservationist, not an environmentalist, means that I believe in put and take, put back, and you can take it, but you also need to put it back. From that perspective, push a couple of roads and trails through there and keep it open space. All field, all natural, let the bird watchers have a place, whatever, but I'm just, what is that?
110 acres, if I'm not mistaken.
100, yeah, it's like 110.
It's a field.
It's
Yeah, now
some
it's
woods
nothing.
too. Yeah.
Well,
Because,
I think that looks
Okay.
nice.
And
I'll
I
have
think
to look.
I was telling you
I don't
this,
pay attention.
and I was telling you this in the truck, and I've said this literally. I've got a chat with, well, except for the council people got mad at me and left. Anyway, I talked to them about this before. Why don't they, like, if you go to Roxbury, Pennsylvania, there's a place called a holiness camp. It doesn't have to be a church thing, but what they did is they put cabins and stuff out there, right? And take a part of that and have it like when these baseball, softball teams come in or church groups want to rent it. Why don't they take some of that land and make it so it actually gives its own revenue, so we ain't got to take it out of our taxpayers' money. Now, the thing is, and I agree with you about kind of halt some of these projects, is every time they add another one in, and I promise you, Conley Mill is about to jump in front of a lot of our projects.
Yeah.
Why? Because of its political season. But but here's the thing is that yeah, we don't need to keep opening up all these different things, because at the same time you got to understand people like Mr. Cannon and other people who are pushing for $20 million to go out to one school being built. Whose money is this coming from? And the budget, the two biggest parts of the budget for the county goes to law enforcement and the schools. And then when you got what goes into Parks and Rec, you got 39 parks, and if you ask Conley Mill, they want a 40th park. So how are we going to maintain all this stuff here?
6% of the budget, I think, is for parks.
No, it's 3.
Is it 3?
Is it
I knew it was
yeah.
really low.
Yeah, it's low.
So it's like unique when you
That's
said
why
what you
just
said about
lucky.
schools.
Yeah, and I kind of bring this to you at the table, but so maybe you can take some of this back to the Parks and Rec. Is that I would like to see the revenue of the folks that are maintaining these parks, and I'm talking about the worker bees.
Yep.
Starting from the ground, going up to administration, seeing these guys have more attractive salaries, so that they can hire more people in the county to maintain the Parks and Recs department. I had a meeting with Steve Miller over here with a group of guys from the folks that are doing the NACO and bivalve thing. I had a meeting. I think it was the 3rd. Might have been the 3rd. I know it got postponed, and it was the following week. And it was about the walkway boards and stuff that they want to replace with those designs. I'm gonna kind of pull this into one so that we can wrap it up and get ready to go. Several of us met there, and we basically took the walkway boards that they wanted to put in. There was 2 types. There was metal, and then there was composite, and then the third was obviously wood.
Mm-hmm.
And we all agreed that we wanted it to go back to natural wood.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason was that just to this snowstorm, it showed itself with the ice. It showed itself with the slippery. It showed itself, and we all kind of, fire department was there. They agreed. Joe was there. Slip and falls, people falling overboard, all that kind of stuff. So we actually saved money in the budget by doing replacement boards, and then I asked them to go through and power wash and clean stuff, make it look nice. But where I'm kind of going with this is that they're still on that low budget. Not low budget, but they're still on that low maintenance level of workers in those parks. And there again, if you talk about the conditions of the roads and the parks and the access, it was tough for them to get in there and plow. It was like 3 days before they had a plow truck in there. And not knocking those guys, they were on the side roads. So, but what I'm getting at with this is that there's bigger focuses.
Yep.
The problem is that you got to recognize that this money's been spent through the state, and now they kind of got to make a decision on what do we want. So they're pushing the public, saying we got to put a road through here so it looks like we're using it. If not, they've got to pay it back.
Right. They have to maintain it for 20 years.
Yeah.
This building was built under, or purchased under open space.
Right.
And it's on year 18 now, so the county in 2 years can, just walk away from this and not have to pay the state back. And, and we're aware of that as being the, neighborhood alliance, because right now the county, does everything we want them to do, but in 2 years they don't have to.
Right. railroad lines to get it. So I need somebody smarter than me to find out what the cost is to get out of it. That's the main key. What is it gonna cost the state, the county to get out of this deal? Leave this development alone. I don't, personally, me, I don't care if they sell it back to the farmer, turn it back to the residents, but if you really look at this whole process,
They're making $300,000 a year off.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
the
thing.
thing, they could be doing that. So if they're making $300,000 a year off of it right now, if they turn it into a park, you're losing that revenue.
But the state won't
But
let
what
them
you-
keep making
but
money.
they won't let them keep.
But the question is, what are they using that money for?
Well, it's into the general budget.
Right, right. Well, that's what I'm
We
saying.
already know that the county's work,
Right.
let's face it, I mean,
Public Works.
so at that,
Yeah.
regardless, how are they gonna make up this $300,000 that they're getting ready to lose?
Right.
So at this point, is it better off for them to say, hey,
Yeah,
all right,
keep
how much
farming.
can we take and sell it for? Will we be able to take and break even, pay the state back, and just forget about it? You know, and what I say with all the other parts is, it's like, all right, well, the county isn't paying the people, they can do anything with these parks. So at that point,